What's up, guys? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about Arweave. I want to break down what's happening with this project. This has grown like mad. I'm actually very, very bullish on this long term because there's been a hell of a lot of development, hell of a lot of growth to the ecosystem, money in the coin. I want to break this down and see what this can do. Also, we've got to cover some of the crypto stories out in the space at the moment. Obviously, CPI data coming out tomorrow, but there's a number of different SEC situations going on, so we'll talk about some of the stories in the crypto space right now as well. Before I get into any of that though, guys, if you are new to the channel, these are the first 26 coins I spoke about on this channel. They're also the first 26 coins I owned when I made the channel. Had you put in just $100 into each of these coins and then never sold them, still had all your holdings now, rode them into a recession and a bear cycle, did everything wrong as an investor. If you sold them all today, you would be able to bank 16k profit from a $2,600 investment doing everything wrong. So that's pretty damn good. But if you'd have sold these coins in 2021 when the markets were red hot like I did, $100 into each, just $100, $2,600 investment total, would have netted you a profit of 123 grand. So it's a huge difference between doing the right and the wrong thing. Now, as I said, I sold all these off. They're not what I hold, but if you want to see my current holdings, you can do. You just have to go to copymycrypto.com. On the site, I share my entire portfolio. The members get updates in real time anytime I make any changes to the portfolio, whether that's adding or coins or removing them. We release videos on a daily basis talking about the markets. We've had pinpoint accuracy on them for months and months and months now. We have tutorials set up for beginners. We've got thousands of members. A lot have never invested in crypto, so these tutorials will help get you started on your crypto journey. And then on top of that, guys, we have a history of success on both the site and this channel. We have called enormous winners on both. None more so than Phantom, which went up 677 times from when I did a course about it, calling it the best investment of the year. Had you put in just $2 grand into Phantom and cashed out at the right time, you could have netted 1.3 million. Now, I'll find another Phantom, of course, and when I do, instead of creating a course like last time, I'm going to go onto my site and do what I do with all my other coins, which is tell the members about the coin, tell them the gains I think it can have, and tell them the percentage of my money I'm putting in. And if they want to copy along, they can. If that interests you, you want to take all the work out of the deep dives you have to do on a daily basis for this crypto space, go read the site now. And remember, everything you read, you can verify yourself on the YouTube channel's history. And if you like it, maybe I'll see you there, guys. So Arweave, currently priced at $10.54. Market cap's 351 million. They have a nice small supply, 33 million. It's about 50% of the max supply, which is 66 million. Arweave is all about decentralized storage. It's a decentralized storage network that offers a platform for indefinite storage of data. It's describing itself as a collectively owned hard drive that never forgets. So the network primarily hosts the Perma Web, which is a permanent decentralized web with a number of community-driven apps. Now, they have done immense amounts of growth in a very, very, very short space of time, really. Yes, they got up and running, or the coin was live in 2020. But since then, they have grown from strength to strength. So their Arweave networks is like Bitcoin, but for data. So it's permanent, decentralized web inside this open ledger. The permanent storage has many applications. The preservation of humans' most important data, or humanities, not humans. The hosting of truly decentralized web apps as well. The Arweave protocol is stable, mature, and widely adopted. As such, its ecosystem is fully decentralized. The site is just the tip of the iceberg. It acts as a map that points you in the direction that you're interested in. And I genuinely recommend people have a look through this. It's absolutely fascinating. So, in terms of funding, because I always like to look at funding because it's so important in terms of growth. So they've got 8 different sort of ventures that can fund a project. So you've got Arweave Ventures, effectively, Hansa, Community Labs, Longview Labs, Digital History Association, PermaDAO, Permanent Ventures, and Forward Research. And all of these are dedicated to backing the development and the growth of the ecosystem. And they have grant and investment opportunities available for contributing to the Arweave ecosystem. So they're really starting to grow. And you can click and you can go through each of these, either their respective sites or Twitter feeds. But the fact that they've got such a level of funding up and running so fast really looks good to me. Then on top of that, their use cases are growing very, very well. Obviously, you can save a file forever through sort of record. They've got their perma pages. They've got Arweave for Enterprise. I'm always a little hesitant on the Enterprise run until I see, there's a few different cryptos that are really trying to tackle Enterprise, but until there is a clear methodology around how they're going to tackle Enterprise, I'm always a bit hesitant. Fundamentally, it boils down to one simple thing, which is businesses are not going to accept payments in crypto. Beyond Bitcoin, beyond Ethereum, or a stable coin, but no actual crypto. Like, the probability of any altcoin being accepted as payment by a business is very slim. Businesses need cash flow. Businesses need accessible cash flow, and they don't want a volatile currency that's going to change in value. If a business all of a sudden goes, I need to launch this, it's going to cost me 10 grand, but you've got 10 grand sitting in like Polkadot as an example. What if Polkadot crashes the following day? And all of a sudden the 10 grand that they have is now worth 7. This is the risk businesses aren't prepared to face right now. But cryptos can provide infrastructure, protocols can provide infrastructure for enterprises. Arweave are looking at doing that, so we'll see how that goes. One thing that Arweave can potentially do is provide that data storage that so many businesses need, that permanent storage facility. So they can bring some serious value to some businesses through that. But in terms of ecosystem as well, they've grown like mad. This is 101 different projects currently in the Arweave ecosystem. And you can break it down into like different tools, but you've got like email products. My mail protocol is a decentralized email stored on Arweave. You've got Weave Mail, you've got Weave. This is not your standard crypto project. There are lots of different, very, very different projects being built upon Arweave. You're not looking at DeFi in the same way that you would, say, a Solana ecosystem. You're looking at, like, effectively the perma web. So there are always going to be massively different projects on Arweave compared to anything else out there. And that, in and of itself, is intriguing. That gives it a USP, gives it a unique selling point that no one's necessarily talking about in great enough depth. Again, they've got an Arweave Explorer and Toolkit on the permaweb. The permaweb, again, is probably going to grow dramatically. Right now, they've got about 15 projects that provide infrastructure as well. But the ability for everything to be saved permanently through a decentralized storage facility like Arweave is insanely positive. This has real potential to grow very, very nicely because they've already got, and they're onboarding projects that are not crypto specific. So they've got a better shot of increasing adoption in the overall market, which is something that very few protocols or very few layer ones really do offer. So Arweave has distinguished itself from them, from a lot of the projects out there quite significantly by what their approach is. And their approach, very simply, is creating a permaweb, creating a forever storage facility. So there's a lot of intrigue here for me, I think, and it's been heavily audited by 4 different firms. They've not had any issues. They utilize a proof of access algorithm as well, which is a modified proof of work. So every new block is linked to the one immediately prior to it, but a random previous block as well. So in terms of security, stronger. For me, this is a really interesting one. And I actually think I'm going to be proper conservative, only saying $60, because that's where most of the volume was hovering around Arweave in the previous bull cycle. But in terms of long-term trend, you know, it's up in a long-term trend. If it does break above its previous high, then it's in price discovery mode, and this can actually run up into the hundreds. Because even at $100, we'd only have a 3.3 billion market cap, which I say only, but 3.3 won't be a lot in the next bull cycle. So for me, Arweave is looking stronger and stronger and stronger, and very different from everything else out there. And I like different. I like something that's got more legitimacy, and that's what Arweave I think it has. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you are a returning viewer, hit the subscribe button. 3 reasons. These videos will make you money and save you money, so you don't want to miss them. Number 2, karma points. Karma's a real thing, guys. It's a nice thing to do. Hit the subscribe button, boost your karma points. And number 3, it's a nice thing to do. Just going to double down on that. So if you've not hit the subscribe button, do it, because it helps. And before I get into the SEC news, if you guys want to see the coins I own right now, my current portfolio, you can do. Just go to copymycrypto.com. I share my entire portfolio. I break every coin down. The coins that I'm invested in, what gains I think they can do, what percentage of my money I put in. If people want to copy along, they can. It takes the work out of it for everyone. We have been releasing videos on a daily basis talking about the markets for the entire time that we've had this up and running. And we've been absolutely nailing the market moves on a daily basis for months and months and months now. Tutorials are there. If you're a beginner in crypto, these tutorials will help you along your journey. And we have a history of success on the site and the channel. We have called 100x winners multiple times. Nothing has been as big as Phantom, though. Phantom went up 677 times. I will find another Phantom. And when I do, I'm not going to create a course like last time. I'm simply going to go onto my site, tell the members about the coin, the gains I think it can have, and the percentage of my money I'm putting in. And again, if they want to copy along and make the massive gains, they can do. If it interests you to take all the work out of your crypto investing, go read the site. And remember that anything you read, you can verify on the YouTube channel's history. And again, if you like it, I'll see you there. And last pieces of news. So, the SEC is suing Paxos over the Binance stablecoin. So the SEC intends to sue Paxos behind the Pax dollar and the Binance USD stablecoin. It's alleging that BUSD is an unregistered security. Of course, the SEC is on their regulation by enforcement. This comes just days after it was reported Paxos was under investigation. So the scope of the New York Department of Financial Services is unclear. BUSD is a Binance-branded stablecoin issued by Paxos, a New York regulated trust company that enjoys a provisional charter from the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. Paxos said it would halt the minting of new BUSD tokens. It's just SEC being bellends. And we've seen it, we saw it with Kraken just last week. We can see that they're looking at quite clearly trying to attack staking around the US. Clearly they've got a bug up their backside about, or bee in their bonnet about stable coins. Certainly Binance pegged BUSD. So we'll see how that plays, but I would be, if you're holding a ton of BUSD, I'd just be aware it might be worth splitting that across multiple stable coins to be safe, because if BUSD all of a sudden collapses, that'll be problematic for a lot of people and the overall market. That would be, well, that'll cause an immediate flash crash. and probably Black Swan event. So worth paying attention to that, guys. Because again, if they hammer the BUSD token, it's a huge stable coin. It's going to have a massive impact on the markets. And crypto forex platform CEO pleads guilty to $250 million fraud scheme. So Eddie Alexandra, the CEO of Emini FX, is facing as much as 10 years behind bars for his part in the fraudulent enterprise. The DOJ announced on February 10th that he submitted a guilty plea to one count of commodities fraud and will pay over $250 million in forfeiture, along with restitution yet to be specified. He faces a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. I don't know. Again, it's just one of those. It's just another story that we're going to see plenty of these coming out, as we always do over the years and years. I just always find it a bit annoying that apparently, he'll only get 10 years maximum. Me personally, I think that's a disgrace, especially if he's wrecked people's lives with his scam. But unfortunately, that is the state of affairs, guys. But yeah, we'll see how that plays out. The biggest story is, of course, the BUSD situation. If the SEC really go hard at that, that could be hugely problematic for the market. So one to pay attention to at the moment, guys. Yeah, that is it from me. Hope you're all keeping well. Take it easy.